Hey guys, Jay Cohen here, owner of Locomotion Fitness in Charleston, South Carolina. Two-brain client, here to talk to you about the ins and outs of being a gym owner. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe to the Two-Brain Business channel. We got all sorts of awesome stuff coming your way. Today, I want to talk about something I'm doing right now, which is content creation. Specifically though, I want to talk about creating content for your gym. And you'll hear Chris Cooper, the founder, owner of Two-Brain Business, often say that you are a media company, that it is your job to create media so that you can build an audience. And it's equally important that to the actual delivery of the service, right? To the operational, where the rubber meets the road, your staff delivering a personal training session to a client. I think that there's a third component to media, to content creation, that is really important, that doesn't get talked about enough, which is keeping the current people that you have really engaged. So we talk about the idea of building an audience, and we talk about the idea of delivering service, but I think there is this middle ground where we can use content to really get members to buy into our service and to really see value. And that is part of the puzzle in keeping members around for a long time. So having a good length of engagement, talking about the benefits of personal training to up your average revenue per member. I shot a video today about supplement that I use post-workout because I'm trying to build out our retail sales. So all of these are really great opportunities and places that you can use content. And that's what I want to talk to you about first, is where do I get content ideas? I know it can feel really frustrating to sit down at your desk or in front of your camera and to start brainstorming and you just are totally blank, right? We're waiting for that muse to come in, and it's like staring at that blinking cursor. If you've ever tried to write anything, it can drive you absolutely insane. So I want to give you a couple places that I find inspiration. The first and easiest, especially for this maintaining or keeping your audience engaged, is to just talk to your members. And anytime somebody asks you a question, especially if you get it more than one time or doesn't pertain to a specific circumstance, shoot a piece of content about it. That is a very easy place to dig in and to help out a member. And that member is going to be super appreciative. And I can guarantee that somebody else in your membership has the same problem, the same question. So that's one good one. Another place that I look for inspiration is just in my feeds, right? In my social media feeds. What are other people talking about? And typically I try not to recreate the wheel. I try not to post about the same stuff that other people are posting about, but it spurs something in my brain that I have a new idea, a new thought, or a spin on that. And that is another great place to shoot some content. So now that we've got some content ideas, who should shoot what? So what should I, as the owner of the gym, be putting together? And this could be written, this could be video. What should my coaches be doing? Should my admins be putting together any content? And I think this is really important if you want to set yourself up to not have the icon problem. And the icon problem, if you've never heard of that before, is the language that we use to describe you being your business. So people will not come to classes if you're not coaching. People won't listen to other coaches because it's not you, right? Because you've built yourself up into this expert and everyone trusts you and you alone and not your brand. And if that is the case, it's going to be really hard for you to step away from your business, because when you do, you're going to have a bunch of people leave because they don't trust the other folks that are there. So it's really important that as early as possible, you start to offload some of your content creation to your staff. The way that I do that is anything that is coaching specific, movement specific, nutrition specific, right? Anything that is a specific tip or guidance, how to do a clean, or we just did a video on how to breathe and cycle burpee box jump overs. All of that stuff, in my opinion, should be coming from your coaches, because they're the ones that are delivering that service. They're the ones that need to be trusted when it comes to, this is how you do this thing in your workout, or this is why you should be eating carbohydrate after your workout, right? Those things, your coaches need to be seen as the expert in those things, and they're the ones that need to be shooting that content. Flip side of that, anything that is mission, vision, values, what you stand for, why you do what you do. All of that needs to come from you, the owner, for now. And I'm still in that place. I think eventually I'll be able to hire a GM or a COO or somebody where I am totally disconnected and that person can fill into that gap. But I think it's important that people see that there is a big picture that is going on, and it's very important to us to live our mission and vision and values and to constantly reiterate them and tell people why they're important and get them to buy into our story, to get them to start to think people like us do things like this. Anytime you are shooting content, I need you to make sure that you are leading with value. So where I see a lot of gyms go wrong is they're putting up, come and join for this special price, or check out this super cool community thing. Nobody knows what CrossFit community is. Nobody knows what gym community feels like if they've never felt it before. So instead, you need to tell people something useful. Teach them how to squat. Teach them what a good meal looks like using something like the healthy plate. Make sure that it is valuable information, something that you yourself would pay $10 or $15 for if you didn't know this information already. It's really easy to get caught up in the feel good or the check out how awesome we are type of posts. But ultimately, think about you as someone who's on social media. You're just gonna keep flipping right on by that stuff until it's something that is going to give you some help. And when you find something that gives you some help, especially if it's free, you're gonna pay closer attention to that brand. And then when it is time for you to spend some money, when you are looking for a solution to your problem, that's the brand you're going to go to. Now, when you're creating this content, we've got to make sure that you keep in mind who is your audience. Is this video or blog piece, written piece, something that is for your membership? Or is it for non-members? Is it for your 80-year-old grandmother, or is it for your 20-year-old collegiate athletes? Because it's very important what method you use, right? Like a video versus written. It's very important for the length of the video. It's important to decide what your call to action should be. You always need to make sure, who am I talking to? And the biggest way that I differentiate there in our business is it a members video or is it a non-members video? In addition to those value-focused pieces, another really important type of content are your success stories. And this is just highlighting your members' success. So this could be a video interview. It could be a questionnaire that you send out to members and have them fill out. Anything that highlights, hey, this is what is possible when you come to my gym. Remember, you are telling stories, and you need to figure out how you can fit the person that you're talking to as a character into your story. How you can pull them into your brand so that they can see themselves successful like this other person. And I already mentioned this earlier. It's the idea of people like us do things like this, which comes from Seth Godin. And if you can tell somebody, hey, look at this other person who is a lot like you and has the same problems, but was able to see this incredible success by following our program, that is an extremely powerful piece of content. So making sure that you have that social proof, that people see that they can imagine themselves being successful underneath your guidance is super important, whether you're talking to members, non-members, no matter where they are, whether it's a lead or somebody that's been in your gym for 3 years, constantly highlighting what's possible, what's next, is a giant piece of the puzzle. Now we want to talk about the difference in quality of content. So I break it down into two main camps. I've got our keystone pieces, and then I've got our quick shoots. Keystone pieces typically take me a couple of weeks to produce. They have a much higher production value. Maybe it's a long form blog post, maybe it's a video, but it's actually cut together and edited. The flip side of that coin is shooting something that is very fast, right? Under a minute long, a good Instagram post, a quick touch on something that you want to get out to the whole membership because it's something that's bothering you or something that you want to highlight. The production value there doesn't need to be nearly as high. What I'm seeing is that the low production value stuff does just as well because it feels more real, it feels more raw, it seems, it's much more visceral for people that are watching. But we want to make sure that we have both types. And sometimes it's appropriate to hire a copywriter or a videographer, especially for your really big, important keystone pieces, the stuff that you're going to refer back to over and over and over again. We want to look professional and we want to make sure that we have some of those. On the flip side of that coin, you need to be producing content on a regular basis. Consistency is king. And so if that means putting out some stuff with a lower production value to make sure that you're getting in front of people, that's totally fine. No big deal. Let's circle back on consistency. I need you to post 5 days per week some good value-driven content. That is minimum, bottom of the barrel. Consistency over all else. Your content doesn't even need to be that good as long as it is consistent. And if it's sort of helping people and it's in front of them all the time, it's going to be front of mind when they're ready to make that purchase decision. Be consistent with it, especially early on. You're not gonna have much traction. You'll have 1 or 2 likes. It's gonna feel like nobody is paying attention. Trust me, people are paying attention and it will pay off down the line. With those keystone pieces, and even with some of the quicker, 1 minute or less or sort of lower production value videos, we want to try to use one piece of content 10 different ways. So we can send it out in our email, we can put it on YouTube, we can chop it up and put it on Instagram, we can do a reel, we can make it an Instagram story, you can print it out and put it on the gym, right? There are a million ways that we can use our content. You're working hard to create it, use it over and over and over again. Especially those keystone pieces, post about them once a quarter, right? You paid big money to have something done really, really well. Use that asset. Use it. It will drive people in. Trust me, people that have seen it before will just ignore it and scroll past it. And if they haven't seen it, they're gonna reach out and they're gonna come in because it's a darn good piece of content. Last thing I want to talk about is CTAs, or calls to action. So I want to make sure each time you create a video that you are creating a CTA along with it. So maybe that's book a free intro or download this guide, or right now I'm going to tell you, like and subscribe to the Two Brain Business YouTube channel. All of those things are just the desired action that we want people to take. And if you do not tell them, they won't know what the next step is and they're not going to do anything. So it is your job to tell them what you want them to do. Then after you tell them, you need to measure. So take a look at what you created, how long it took to create it, what format you used, and then look at what are the results. Did this drive intros? Did people download this thing? We need to measure because we need to figure out what is working in your market with your people and what is not. Once you have those measurements, it's time to double down on the stuff that is working and get out there consistently. Remember, it's gotta be on a regular basis. And it doesn't need to be across the board. So for me, I do much better with video than I do with written pieces. Writing just feels like it is gonna take me forever to get it done. Whereas video, I can pop on here and make it happen pretty dang quickly. So find the method that you like, find a method that resonates with your people, and do it on a regular basis. All right, guys, I hope that helps. I will see you very soon, especially if you remember to hit that notifications bell, subscribe to our channel so that you learn everything you need to know about running an amazing micro gym. All right, guys, see you soon.